Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay this time. Happy Saturday to everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and say hi to everybody here. I cannot speak today. I can never speak. I'm gonna go say hi to everybody in the chats. Thank you guys for being early as always. So we have, of course, Richard Willis. Hello, JD. What is up? Good day to you. Ricketts, Arthur. Hello. I think this is working out okay. So, last week I was chatting with my buddy Chris Yates, who funded successfully his Kickstarter early this week. Was it Monday or Tuesday? And hello, Detective Buckets. And we had some audio difficulties between him and I not being able to hear each other, so I re-uploaded the edited version so that it ran smoothly instead of everybody for the first 15 minutes like having me type out questions for him. So today I'm going to be working on Neo Wonderland. As you guys know, I have some pages to ink, and I'm going to start sending out emails for everybody's delivery info and stuff like that, and putting in orders for some of the items such as stickers, keychains, and stuff like that. So we're going to start the process and then send some of these pages to my assistant colorist to help me flat the pages. So let me readjust this camera really quick. This is going to be a down angle for this one just a little bit because it's the last panel on the page, and so it's kind of hard to ink and then have it on camera. So let's see. All right. So this panel, I'm going to do it like this, and then when I move on to the next pages, I should say, then I could readjust the camera angles. So we got this panel right here, and I put white print paper on some of these panels because of spoilers, and so there's some panels can't show, and then also it's kind of rough, some of these in terms of I guess fight scenes and stuff, and I don't want to get flagged for anything, so that's why there's pieces of paper on these panels. And then if I have time, I'll get to do more of this panel. So I'm kind of jumping around right now and doing all the really hard pages first and panels, and then backgrounds last. But then I have some pages that are already completely inked, and so that's going to get scanned and sent off to my flat person who's going to flat my colors. And that means putting solid, breaking up the characters from the background so that it makes it easy to color in Clip Studio Paint. So anyhow, let's see what you guys have been saying. Let's see. Detective Buckets, hello again. Old brown jacket, no worries. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us for, at the very beginning. So oh my god, did I miss something? All right, you guys. Spoiler panels. Okay, so today I'm going to do something a little different, and I had to go and buy a new one. I'm going to ink with the Pentel Pocket Brush pen, and I haven't used one of these in a while, and I couldn't find my old one, so I'm glad I got a brand new one. So I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to pair that with the Pigma Sakura pen here. These have been awesome. This is a fine brush tip, and the chisel, medium chisel, is really good for straight lines right now, and doing action lines. This is also really good. So those are the three. I don't want to break out the brush because I've got such a tight deadline right now. And then I bought this right before I went to Orlando. It's the Manga Opaque Liner by Zig. It is awesome. I actually like this a little bit more than the white Poshka. So let me see if I could grab this. So this is the one I normally use, or this brand, but then I think I'm starting to like this manga opaque, and knowing me, I'm probably gonna buy a couple more of these online so that I have these on hand. So yeah, that's the plan. And if I need to draw anything, of course, my typical Home Depot brush. I'm sorry, pencil, and then the black wing, and then Pentel 5mm for fine details. So this is the simplified version of a tight deadline set, and then I ordered 3 more of the Pigmas because they run out of ink pretty fast on Amazon, so that I have these on hand to get the book done. No fuss, no mess, you know, not having to dip things in ink. And then just side note in case I forget, sometimes the Pentel pocket brush, it leaks a little bit or it gets kind of fuzzy, so I just take a napkin and just, you know, dry it off a little bit so I could control the flow, because in the past I would forget and then it would just leak everywhere and it just caused like this fuzz and wasn't so hot. So anyhow, let's get started, you guys. I mean, I've been inking pretty consistently this last few days, so I don't feel super rusty. It's funny because I was in Orlando, was it not last week, but the previous week, and I did not. I mean, I was drawing the whole time. I felt like I wasn't, though. It was a different state of mind, I guess. So, doing this to eliminate some of the shadow. Okay. So, let's warm up a little bit. Yeah, see, I like how dry this looks. Like it's like a dry brush almost. So, I'm going to ink just this panel and then move on to the next page. This is technically the last page in the book. So, yeah, that's why I covered up the other panels so you guys don't see what's happening. I didn't realize it, but today is Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle, and I usually go, and my friends are always there. So I'm sure some of you are probably going to be able to go, or maybe already there. So you won't be watching this live stream. What is up, Luann? And Michael Richardson, what is up? Nice. It was so cool to see you in person, by the way. I thought I was the only one who used Carpenter's pencil for drawing. Oh, Mikey Geek Studios. It's a game changer. I love the Carpenter pencil. I'm always trying to find new ways to take shortcuts to speed up my process. I'm sure you guys already know that. So I love the dry brush on this so far. Maybe it's the paper too, but the other panels I was working on this last few days, it looks kind of runny. So I didn't get the dry brush look that I'm going for. Yep, it's crunch time, so I'm going to be at my desk every day for the next few weeks to get this done so we could fly to Ohio to get it fulfilled. So thank God for letterist and assistant colorist, or else this will take forever to get done. Okay, I think I'm pretty warmed up now. I could probably start like inking like his face. It's fun to start on a big panel like this because all I have to do is just make, what do you call it? Big broad strokes and not have to overthink it too much. Okay. So much for that. Now I'm overthinking it again. Okay, let's just get to the face. I think I'm ready. Yeah, Mighty Geek Studios for sure. I use the Carpenter pencil to draw vehicles and weapons and structures basically for the most part, and it's kind of funny because that's really what they're used for in real life. So SSP artistic. I think a good thing with cross hatching. I'm gonna do this right underneath his hood, so you'll see how I cross hatch. I mean, I don't really cross hatch. I wouldn't consider it cross hatching. My friend Jim Cheung, very very amazing when it comes to cross hatching. I'm not sure if you follow him on Instagram. I recently just saw some of his new pieces. He did one of Wonder Woman and I think it was Batman. It was an awesome piece, but he's, I feel like, the master of cross hatching. I was a little worried I wasn't going to be able to stream today because one of my cameras wasn't working. I think it was the Cam Link adapter. It's finicky, and the HDMI cable, but I fixed it right before, so that was nice. Oh my gosh, Dooley Don, our moderator's late. Unacceptable, mister. I'm just kidding. It's not like we need anybody to moderate this, right? I could do this myself. Let's see here. He's got his eyebrows are like silver, so I gotta make sure I don't accidentally ink him in. But truth be told, I've made a few happy accidents on some of these pages, so I just, luckily for me, I have like that white gel pen that fixes everything. Not everything, but most things. And it seems to work out pretty well. Somehow it adheres to the ink nicely because the Poshka, somehow whenever I use it, it would strip off some of the ink and it would leave like a weird streak behind, or you could kind of see the ink underneath. But this is actually the pen that this right here is actually really awesome so far. Okay, so what I could do is I could switch to the Sakura, so that I could get fine details in some areas. So for example, so this is right here, Pigma FB. I like the slightly, dry brush look that this gives, and then the pocket brush pen. So I wouldn't call that, like I said, I wouldn't call this cross hatching, but it's pretty close. Hello, my monster mix. Whenever I actually over detailed, like background, foreground, same details. How can I improve that? It's really confusing. I get it. I totally do. So I think the only way to kind of slowly do it without overdoing it, which sometimes I do that too, is do the outlines first. You see how I do the broad shapes first, and then go in and do the detail, or slowly build it that way. So then if your foreground is detailed and the background should probably be less detailed. And there's eventually you'll get to a point where you understand that. But usually it's big shapes first, and then the detail comes afterwards. And once you do it enough, you can kind of jump around like I do sometimes, and still it still looks cohesive and not over rendered, or even under rendered sometimes. So obviously I'm not gonna ink the blood splatter on his face, but when it's done, that's what it's going to look like. But just for the sake of not getting in trouble with YouTube, I'm just going to keep his face nice and clean. But I could probably add some scratches on here though. Extreme maybe 1534. I don't have a con schedule right now. The only con that I scheduled was the Orlando convention a week and a half ago. I'm making an appearance, if that's what it sounds like, is in Ohio at the where I'm distributing my book, and so I'm just going to be there to sign it, and I'm just going to live stream it. But as far as that convention is concerned, I have nothing set in stone yet. I think I'm going to wait until the book is done and in your hands, and then I can make some plans, but it might be last minute, so. Okay, switch back to pocket Pentel brush. Yeah, I got white gouache as well, Mighty Geek Studios, and sometimes I would want to use it, but I'm so stingy, and I don't want to, because I spent so much money on my gouache that I try to not use it too much, because the ones that I got are expensive. But I think I did have to use that when I was at the convention. I needed something that was opaque, and I added some color to it as well, because I was doing colored pieces, and sometimes I messed up, and so I would have to use my, gouache, and they were amazing. And I didn't really get to film a whole lot when I was in Orlando. I was working I was drawing a lot, so, and I was at the booth the whole time, as Michael Richardson was there early on, so he got to see that. I contemplated doing the Sky Surfer Lounge scene, except that is also kind of inappropriate. So I'm gonna have to wait on that. I think the next time I stream, I'm gonna do I'm gonna be coloring, so I'm gonna change things up a bit. It'll be the first page you guys get to see me coloring live in Clip Studio Paint. So. And I'm leaving some areas kind of open and not shaded in, because I'm going to be using screen tones in Clip Studio Paint, so I don't want to over cross hatch or do anything like that. I think this goes like this. Oh, you're so sweet, Michael Richardson. Imagine all the artists being really busy at the show, because the show is meant for original art collectors and stuff. So of course every person there is gonna get a commission. So I feel like every artist was busy, which is awesome, and I had so much fun. I didn't get to go to Disney World. I mean, inside of Disney World, but I did get to go to Disney Springs, and that was fun. I got my Mickey ears, so that was awesome, and the weather was nice, and yeah, it's kind of nice to kind of get back into doing conventions and slowly starting up again, because it's been a minute. I'm gonna come back and fix that, but for now I'm just gonna cross hatch, or try to. So when I'm in a pinch, or not in a pinch, but when I'm in a tight deadlines for, let's just say, my friends' books or people I work with, I tend to jump around after they approve my pencils, and I ink really big shapes first and the characters, and then I come back and do the background. And I do that in pages of 5 batches so that I could send it off and they could get it colored. So usually I work on 5 pages at a time, but that's how I speed through my process. Because otherwise, me personally, I noodle and I spend too much time on a panel, and I know that I have a lot to get done, so I tend to batch them in sequences of 5 pages. So that's how I make my deadlines. Since this is my own deadline, but really it's not my own deadline, it's your guys' deadline, and so I'm using the same process basically. Oh, thanks so much, SSP. I mean, I have to stay motivated myself because could get overwhelming at times, so it's nice to have people kind of hanging out with you while you're working. And I'm probably going to jump to the other page where I'm going to ink a background so you can kind of see main or characters to versus background inking. I don't know if I like that. Hey, what's up, Devastator Omega? Thank you for hanging out with us on Saturday. It's pretty chill right now. This is running out of ink. I could probably open up a new one. Let me mark this one because I kind of like it when it's somewhat dry. It's good for doing rough textures. So let's open up a new pack. I wish that they sold these in a set instead of individually, because then I think it costs more when you buy it this way, but oh well. I think I spent $20 on these and only got 3. Hopefully that's enough. Oh, state of the art. Yeah, I know. I honestly, when I was in Orlando, I was thinking about my book, and the only thing I was able to do when I was gone was what was it? The lettering script for the letterist on the plane, and I was doing commissions most of the time. So now it's back to full time New Wonderland until it's done. Saw David Finch there. I wanted to get his book, but I was always in a hurry to go back to my own booth. And then ran into Eric Canetti, Sean, and Matteo a few times, and had a lot of fun chatting with them. Such great guys, and I'm super stoked for Matteo's book that's coming out soon here. So those guys are awesome. And then they went on a road trip after that, the show. Oh, speaking of, let me see if I can show you guys. I got a copy of Matteo's, I think you could call this an ash can, or issue 0 of the Forefather book, and then he signed it, so that was awesome. There we go. Yep. Amazing, amazing. I love it so much. I have my fingerprints all over this thing, so it's pretty glossy. You guys are gonna love it so much. And speaking of, I was so desperate for David's book that John was in Amsterdam. I think it was last week. It was a few days ago, and he was at Hank's Comics, and I was like, "Hey, does he have Skin Breakers?" And John's like, "Yeah, they do, except the store is closed, so couldn't buy it. So I still don't have a copy of that yet. Got to get a hold of my copy." And I wasn't able to get it from David because I didn't get to stop by his booth, so still bummed. Might have to order it off the internet or something. Mighty Geek Studios. I do love black and white, but I mean, I was a colorist to begin with, so it's kind of, I prefer them both. It all depends on what the colors look like, and even in black and white, how it's done as well. Oh, awesome, Michael Richardson. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Such a beautiful book. Cannot wait. Oh, Say the Art, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think even Sean and Matteo, they were actually doing portfolio reviews from, I think, some kids from the school nearby. I call them kids because they're young, but they're not kids, they're like teenagers. And that was neat. They were doing portfolio reviews, and I kind of saw someone's art at the show. It was awesome. He brought he had a few pages in his portfolio, and I thought it was amazing. I think maybe he sometimes shows up on the live stream. I'm not sure. For sure he's on my Instagram, so it was awesome meeting some of you in person. I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, I think everybody lives so far away. I didn't think there'd be anybody in Florida that would watch this channel, so. Okay, so let me get references for his outfit. I want to make sure it's correct. Some parts. Maybe this one's better. Need where is here? I'm trying not to spoil this page as well. Oh my gosh. Okay. Carpenter pencil. I want to make sure I have his armor correct. Right here. I'm just going to go for it and just start inking this part mostly black, because if I don't like it, I could always fix it with white ink or something. So that we can move on along. I'm not super precise and picky right now because of deadlines, but Luckily, it's my own book, so I know what it's supposed to look like. But if it was someone else's project, I'd have to go by the, make sure things are a little tighter in terms of the pencils. I love this brush. Look at that. All that space, just negative space, is now covered. And for the chisel, for example, if I, had a little bit more time or was more thoughtful, this straight edge right here, I would use the chisel edge. So, and it gives it that dry brush look as well. So it's pretty awesome to have this. And I like medium more than the, what is it, small? Ooh, I missed some questions. I'm super duper excited for coming Superman Spider-Man comic later this month. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. I have a question as a begging artist. I really like angular, moody, cartoony styles, but for some reason my skill never matches what I'm trying to draw. Any tips? Um, I'm wondering if when you're making your mark making and your brush strokes or your pencil strokes, that you are not pulling your lines far enough, and so that's probably why it doesn't look as angular. I guess that's kind of how I would assume that you're approaching it. I think so. The more you pull a line, the more angles you're gonna get. So like you can kind of see right here. This is not a good example because it's like a small piece of this, but I would drag my lines so I don't even lift my wrist, and then that gives the angle or the more angular style. Whereas if you're like, sitting here and just doing this, most of the time your lines are going to be a little bit more fluid, I guess. So there's another hard edge right here. Just pull the line and then you get the angles. So the more angular you want, I think the more you drag your line out. So oh, awesome. 88 and Martinez, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Yes, this is like the gold standard for brush pens, except I stopped using it for a while and I kind of regret that now because this is awesome. I forgot why I did it, but I think a lot of it was just because I had to buy the ink and I just wanted just to use the ink I had, and but then this ink doesn't clog the brush, so it's like the perfect ink for this because I tried different inks and it didn't work out so well. Plus when it dries it's very matte, it's like almost perfect. So I think I just not need to stop being so cheap and just buying them. I have a bunch of refills right now, but I don't know. I think if I had more time I'd probably go back to using my my favorite brushes and ink. I think I'm going to let the screen tones do the rest so that I'm not over rendering or shading this in right here. inside his in this shaded area, it's going to be screen tones, and since it's being colored, I don't have to over render or do the shadows myself at this point. So, oops. All right, let's jump to another panel for now and let this dry a little bit. It's pretty dry as it is, but that way I can show you different things and approaches to some of this stuff. So here is a page with some background, and I want it to be moody, but I still want to show some detail, and it's kind of in like it's kind of in the evening, but it's not fully dark yet. So I'm gonna have some detail, but then I don't want to over render as well. So let's do a little bit of background. I'm gonna jump around a little bit and then do him, and hopefully we could get this whole panel done now. So. Oh, thank you so much, Michael Richardson. I appreciate that. I haven't checked to see how his Kickstarter is going so far, but that book looks amazing. And he worked so hard, the whole team did. So it's really fun to see brand new projects like that with a brand new team, you know. I'm thinking, I hope this works, but I think with backgrounds though, the, what is it? My Menzo brush with the manga ink actually works really well, so. But, you know, I'm trying not to overthink it right now, and I'm just going to go for it. But before I do that, I need to get masking tape for the edges, so I'll be right back. It's so cute. John's in the other room painting with his headphones on right now. I'm sure after traveling for 2 weeks, he's probably excited to start painting again. Oops. All right. So I'm gonna mask my edges because I want to have a clean edge on this page. I used to not do that, but you know, I went out of my way to make this thick outline with a page, so. Pombon is 5, a fire type. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how Pokemon has not gotten less popular, but more popular as the years go by, which is amazing. Wonder how many people actually own the Pikachu card before it sold for as much as it did. Okay, 1 second. It's too thick. So this is the kind of stuff I have to do when I'm painting usually. It seems pretty tedious, but it's really worth it to do it right. Imagine if you had to do screen tones with actual screen tones like they used to. That takes a lot of time. But, you know, this is our craft and this is what we do. And this one makes it fun. I was the same way. I had a bunch of Pinto brush pens, really liked them for dynamic shadow shapes, but I hate buying refills when I have pots of ink. That's Cleaver, that's exactly why I just I stopped using it. It's like I love it, but man, I have all this ink, so I'd rather not use just brush pens. In fact, I'm really considering just using actual ink and take some shortcuts. You know what, let's do it. And then you can kind of see the difference. Let's put this right here. I wasn't gonna do this today, but since I'm doing backgrounds, I want to make sure I do this as quickly as possible. So we're using a Sumi Ink 60 Zig, I think it's Kiritake. for the background. So, and maybe the flat brush would do the job. We'll see. Key here is always to just do things as fast as possible and as best as possible without being too sloppy. This is really not gonna work. The ink dried on this one, so I'm gonna try a different brush. All right, this one might work. So we're gonna use a flat. What size is this one? It's a 1/2 inch. So generic brush. So this is how I speed up the process. Oh, and by the way, underneath here is my Huon light box, and I have my laptop riser stand so that I could basically move the sheet of paper around and it doesn't like bump into my Wacom tablet, my speakers, the keyboard, so it's hovering above. Basically it hovers above the desk like this. So that helps. Okay. But I don't want to get my Huon dirty, so what I'm going to do is get a sheet of 11 by 17. And put it underneath because chances are I may accidentally ink my light box. So, okay, let's get going. There we go. You guys can kind of see the dry brushing here, and I feel like I've already made a ton of progress. Okay. You gotta be careful because I don't think this dries as fast as the pocket brush pen, but if this works, I think it looks better for this. And then it also saves me Pentel pocket brush ink. And it also gives us a kind of a gritty look to the background, which it is. You know, the back of an alley. And again, I could use screen tones for some of these areas. I just want to blend in some of these lines because I don't like how they look. Kind of abrupt or there's no form to some of these. So, And I think maybe it's going to be darker up here. And then maybe some backlighting right here to frame him. So it's kind of a good way to light things so that you don't have to sit there and render everything on the page. So I could just darken this a little bit more where the manhole cover is, or the vent. And this is in shadow over here. And anything I accidentally ink, I could always go back and add, what do you call it? The gel pen. Okay. So that looks okay. Okay, so you see how I shaded or colored over the or inked over the top of the trash bags. So what I'm gonna do is when this dries a little bit is go over it with my white pen, and then that should fix a few things. Cleaver, that's funny. Yeah, man, rendering trash bags, some tough shit. Oops, sorry. How many? Okay, I think you're not supposed to cuss the first 3 minutes into whatever a video. Hope no kids are watching. Close your ears. I'm sorry, JD. Well, truth be told, I have a favorite curse word. It starts with an F. So, and there is probably going to be some cursing in this book, but I might censor it. So, we're talking about like mafia and stuff here, and Yakuza, so I don't think anybody's concerned that their mom's listening to them. I'm not even like overthinking this whole thing right now. I'm just doing what I think I need to do. So whether it's masking off something, inking something with a certain brush, or going in a certain order, I'm just trying to be like in my flow state right now. So, oh. Yeah, I like fudge, Michael White. Hey Vince, happy Saturday. The league has been renewed. Time to talk smack again. This, season has officially begun already. Oops, sorry. I need to put that away. Finland, yes, 88 Martinez. My favorite curse word is Finland. Jonathan, what should I do if I hate my current job and want to go into animation career tips? Okay, so I think the honest advice is to overlap. So whenever you get a chance to practice animation and get really good at it and put your work out there, I would just every opportunity you get, like after you get off work, I'm not sure what time if you have a day shift or a night shift, I would take at least 2 hours a day and just focus on improving animation. And then when you feel like you're ready, you just put it online and you overlap, and eventually you're gonna get there. Because the one thing you don't want to do is quit like cold turkey almost, like, oh, I'm just gonna not do my job. It would be really hard for us now as adults, I think. And I'm not sure what other commitments you have financially, but that makes a huge difference, and maybe, I don't know if you follow people in animation online, and they have tips too, I'm sure, and then they also have really good tutorial videos. So I'm not quite sure where you're at in the animation process, but if you are practicing consistently, then I would put my work out there, and I'm sure people will see it, and then you could probably start getting work that way. So yeah, for me, I think overlapping what I really wanted to do with what I was currently doing was the key to getting somewhere with my career. I mean, funny enough, Vince magically appears when we're talking about this stuff. He knows, because he was at the start of my career. So there's certain things you just had to do to get yourself out there, and while you're still building your portfolio and trying to get work. So Okay, so what am I doing here? I think we're gonna, because I really want to just get the top part inked a lot more than what we have right now. So let's switch to a different brush. Maybe we could use the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. Guess we'll see. No, I don't think I need to do that. Devastator Omega, yeah. It's like, don't curse, young lady. Someone's gonna report me for inappropriate language. But that was, just said the S word. It's not that bad, right? I think it was more out of respect for you guys. Oh, thank you so much, Echo. Devastator Omega, it's funny. Snitches get stitches. Well, in my comic book, that's true. I mean, look at this guy. He's down and out. I'm using all sorts of tools today, so you guys get to see how they either all these things work together, or how it looks on a page, or if there's a technique that you prefer over another one, then this would be the live stream. And I'm trying not to over render the background, like we were talking about that earlier. So I'm putting a lot of it in shadow so that you focus more on the big shapes, and I'm going to indicate, some detail, but not really go too crazy with it. Let's see. Hello, is it Evival Dos Santos? Thank you for joining us. Let's see here. I'm tempted to pull out my Japanese street book just to get good references for the piping and stuff. In fact, I probably will do that. Oh, what is this right here? Okay, you know what? We're going back to the chisel. So this is basically how I work. I switch my tools pretty fast depending on what I'm rendering. So now I'm going back to the chisel medium, and I'm just going to put in some lines here, like for example this vent right here. Dry brush that in there. So the tools that I pick for pages especially is they all look pretty close and similar in the end, but they do different things and do them as fast as they can and to get me where I need to go. So the textures are all pretty much the same. I like that dry brush look, so I don't mind it that my pens are running out of ink and stuff. See, right now I'm trying to figure out where not to put detail, over render. So let me see here. Echoes drawing buildings is a nightmare. I know, and that's why I'm trying to learn to enjoy it. And truth be told, I do enjoy drawing buildings and stuff. That's why I picked Cyberpunk in the middle of a city, because I do appreciate, doing it, but it is tedious work. Hey, Jedi X 0. Oh man, I suck. Later, extreme maybe 1534. Thank you, Jedi 0. Thank you so much, Rod Katarsion. Thank you so much. You're punned out tonight, Michael White. No. I was saying that you're punned out is still funny, so it's too bad. I'm sure I'll come back to you pretty soon here. All right. I don't want to sit here and do the background the whole time, so I'm gonna skip around again. I really should just finish these dudes up. But this is what I meant by this pen is awesome. It's thicker and yeah, I like how that looks. All right, let's start inking some dudes. I'll try to put a link to all of the supplies that I used today, because I used quite a bit of different ones to ink with. So He had a really bad night, JD. Hello, David Smith. Thank you for joining us. Let me pull up his character reference again. Oh man, it's gonna be hard to find. Oh, maybe not. Here we go. Right. I can tell I was trying to use a different medium tool for his fur last time. I could just tell that it was something kind of like a nib or something. Maybe I was experimenting. I didn't like how that turned out, so. Oh yeah, Echo, I actually have, I think it was like 3 pages inside a bar, so you're gonna get to see that. It's gonna be the Sky Surfer Lounge. So again, I'm just outlining some of the big shapes, or go from big to medium. Maybe minus drawing faces so that they're not faceless characters or whatever. And then I go and put the detail in, but that's how I would do it if I wasn't filming right now. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you guys, have any of you played Resident Evil 9 yet? I played like 2 seconds of it. I'm like, I'm scared. I think I'm gonna come back and play it. Vince, that's a cool name. Thank you so much, Marv Comics. Bar fight. Oh, we don't have a bar fight this time, Echo, but for sure at some point we will. Ricketts, I'm determined to um, I'm determined to play that game just because I played like literally 5 minutes of it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to be scared right this very second. I think I'll just wait, get my work done first, and then when I get the chance to, I'll play. Um, or maybe wait until John got back so that I have somebody in the same room with me while I'm playing. So I don't know. We'll see. I was trying to get a physical copy of the game, but that didn't happen. David, it's an amazing game. Like it's scary, but the action is amazing. So it's worth playing, I think. I'm excited for. I know I'm probably one of the few people who likes Resident Evil 5, but it was the one game that I almost maxed out on everything and collected everything and beat it on the hardest mode. But honestly, if it wasn't for John, I probably wouldn't have played the game on extra hard mode because he was like, you know what? If we're gonna play this game, let's just play it on the hardest mode out the gate. And I was, like I said, I think you guys have heard me say this. Like, it's a good way to ruin a relationship is to play Resident Evil 5 together. And then I was I'm stuck playing with him, and he has a different playing style. My monster mix. Oh my gosh, I love Resident Evil 5. I love it and hate it at the same time because, like I said, I was playing with John, and he is a maniac, very competitive, and so I was stuck playing the way he plays. He runs in and asks questions later, and I'm like, can we think about this before we just run into the line of fire and a bunch of zombies coming after us? But no. So. Oh yeah, Echo. That she would be really fun to render. I think I haven't gotten anybody who asked me for her yet, so for a commission, or else I would totally do it. I use the other records. Yeah, I don't like playing with him, but I do at the same time. We play Call of Duty together, and he uses a shotgun and I use the rifle. So we both have a different way of playing the game for sure. Brackets. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's nice, but then I want to win sometimes too without being a complete renegade or maverick. So I'm looking forward to the remake because I hope they keep the co-op option of that. I think it'd be fun. come back to this dude later. For now, I think I'm gonna render Shin. Marathon. What game is that? Is it on Steam, Vince? I've seen the movie Echo. It wasn't as good as I'd like it to be, but there were parts that were really scary though, for sure. They did a good job with the nurses. I thought they were freaky as heck. And that was a long time ago, too. I think I was talking to Tatiana in person about really scary games, and we're like, you know what game? Like it's underrated or people don't know a lot about it is Fatal Frame. I will never play that game because I'm too scared. My younger brother plays it though, and I'd watch him play it because it's an amazing game, and I'm too chicken to play that game or that series. Cleaver, that's funny. Monster dating game, huh? I'm thinking like Monsters Inc., where like the monsters have one eye or something like that. And you have to date them. Purple teeth. Oh, Vince, yeah, you should give Tim something. For the next the next couple issues of this book, I'm probably going to use paper with more teeth because this is too smooth, a little too smooth. So I could see that the ink is pooling on top of the sheet of paper, or the bristle board. So I'm probably going to request a what is it, rougher bristle board for the next one. I think I still have a few left though, but I do like having my dry brush consistently. Let's see if you can kind of see, it's kind of shiny. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brian Hewitts. CC, what do you think of platforms like Webtoon for sharing stories, or do you prefer print for accessibility? PS, love your work. Thank you so much for the super chat again. I think Webtoons is great, especially when you're starting out and you just want to get your work out there. I think it's great for a lot of people. I myself prefer print for sure, but I think that you could actually do both, where you start out digitally and then kind of expand to like getting your books printed or something like that, or you get it kickstarted or go through a publisher. So I think it's a plus to have that, just to get your work out there. Otherwise, it'll take forever. You know, not everybody, but to kind of build up that portfolio. You know. I was kind of fortunate enough to start my career with print being the main outlet for books, and there was bookstores, lots of bookstores, and now we have Amazon, so, and some comic book stores. Cleaver. What did Vince say? I don't think there's a Lucy's with thousands of million miles of Los Angeles, so it works for me. So speaking of webtoons, how many of you actually read webtoons comics and stuff like that, or what's your preferred way of reading your books nowadays? Oh yeah, Devastator Omega. I hear that omnibuses is the way to go nowadays if you can get that many books. And online comics, easy access when I have second. Okay, I love Rogue's design in the game. Oh yeah. You know what? I haven't checked out Marvel Rivals, but I hear it's really good. Okay, Wreck-It. So yeah, I guess it still feels like it's almost 50-50 with people getting books and stuff, but a lot of people are getting trades and omnibuses. Because if you don't have a local comic book store nearby, I can't imagine it'd be easy to get the floppies. I mean, heck, I'm still trying to get Skin Breakers and haven't been able to get a hold of it yet. And David Finch is sitting right there. I don't even know if he brought copies. I didn't get to ask anybody about that to Orlando. So here I am doing just the outlines. Like I said, that's kind of my go-to to get things done is outlines first and then details afterwards, and cross hatching and stuff. But for the sake of just showing you some of the different techniques that I use, I'm kind of just jumping around a little bit. I see, Brian. That's good to know. Um, yeah, that's why I think it's important to have a digital version of all my works, you know, just so that everybody has access to it. Make it easier on myself. Devastator Omega, I just scan them and keep it on my external SSD drives, or I just, what do you call it? Keep it on my computer. I do have a Dropbox, and I think once this is done, I'm going to be putting everything on the Dropbox, so at least I have that. But yeah, and I try to scan them in different stages, whether it's pencil and then inks sometimes. Thank you so much, Morose. Oh, thank you so much, Echo. Yeah, there's a lot of people down in their luck, that's for sure. In my book, for sure. And you shall see. In fact, our main characters are definitely down on their luck. Okay, and now I'm gonna move over to this guy, his sleepy face, and do that outline. Hmm. Oh, thanks so much, Cleaver. Matt Perot still creeps me out. I must have missed the conversation. Let's see how quickly I could fix my lines with yeah, love it. This pen is awesome. This is how my brain works. If it works that well, guess how many pens I'm gonna go and buy now, you guys. Probably 10. But I'm not the only artist that does that. I know, like, when you find something you love and it works well, you have to get a bunch of them because you're gonna go through them pretty quickly. So. And that's how you guys will end up with some of my other art supplies that I don't use a whole lot. But I'm sure that other people will probably use it. And I think sometimes when the ink is really coming down, like right now, it's really thick. I could probably use it to render the trash bag or something so that I could cover more ground that way. And I think this is going to be in the shadow, so you can't really see it anyways. And I think there's another one right here. Okay, we'll come back to that. My tendency right now is to want to go really fast, but I know that I'm going to regret it if I go too fast. Thank you again for the super chat, Brian. Brian Schultz. Yeah, Schutz. Do you design turn-ons for each character before starting the pages, including support ones, or what's your process? A pitch Bible for yourself? Yes, Brian, I do design the characters. You could say turnarounds, but I don't do like full turnarounds for everybody. Only the main characters. So for the supporting characters, I'll just draw like the front of them or something, unless of course you're gonna see the back of them. But even then, I just kind of design it as I go for some characters, unless of course they're using a weapon or their design impacts the story in some ways. In that case, I would actually be able to I would design it front, side, and then back. So it all really depends on how I'm using the characters, I guess, in the story. But definitely the main characters all have like turnarounds and stuff. What else is there? And the same with the vehicles, especially because it's cyberpunk. Not everything I designed is actually, real life, and so I have to design like the hoverboards and the cars and stuff like that. So for the sketchbook, that's kind of with the Kickstarter, you're gonna see whatever all the concept art that I've done. So. Oh yeah, Richard, I need to put in the cast shadows. I'm probably not gonna do that yet. So I'm gonna do the outlines first, and then go back and do the shadows, because right now I'm kind of attacking the broad shapes first, and then like I mentioned earlier, the details afterwards. But the reason why I did faces already, which oftentimes I would just do them last, it's because I'm live streaming and I don't want you guys to stare at a page with no faces. So I get all the big shapes out of the way, and then go in there and like not cell shade, and cross hatch and stuff, and add the, what is it called? Half tones and stuff. So, and it's also a subconscious thing too. If I see all my forms from far away, it just feels like the pages are getting done a lot quicker than if I focus too much on one particular area, which I know a lot of people kind of work differently, but for me personally, it just tricks my mind into thinking I've gotten further by doing it that way. And I see all the main shapes on the page, and then that makes it so rendering details easier, and then not over rendering certain things. JD. Oh, thank you for asking those. Those are really good questions, actually. Thanks so much, Cleaver. Now I'll just put this in here. I think I could get away with putting some Bloody nose. Echo, I thought about using Twitch too, but I just feel like because I have so much going on right now with like just drawing the book and everything that I'm trying to focus on just a couple of things and a couple of outlets just so that I'm not overwhelmed because I can't, because I'm doing most of it myself outside of having my wonderful moderator. It's really hard to focus on multiple platforms and stuff like that. So, and tasks like right now, the book. I'm thinking that once things slow down just a little bit for me, schedule wise, and I could probably refocus my attention on some of the website stuff actually, and different platforms. So, do you think I would do really well on Twitch? Yeah, I just feel like because I actually use YouTube. It's more familiar to me, and I feel comfortable using it. Whereas with Twitch, I don't use it at all, and it looks overwhelming as soon as I try to go there. I don't know what's going on. There's just so much stuff. So I think it's just more of a preference thing too, and lack of time. I mean, even before this, I didn't have internet that would let me stream at all. If you guys remembered, I tried and I froze, and it was horrible because I was at the cabin and we have DSL internet, so I had to move out of the whole entire woods just to get out of there. Oh, okay, so subscribing is easier on YouTube. Gotcha. Did someone say Gundam? Drew, thank you so much for the super chat. It's your style a mix between Western comics and manga. I love it. Yes, it is. Thank you so much for noticing that. Because I, grew up with both, and I love both, and I feel like I can't pick, and even for a while I couldn't hone in my style, and I'm getting closer. I'm not completely there yet where I could do it subconsciously all the time, but for the most part, I feel like it's coming together the way that I want it to look. So this book is really good practice because I'm sticking with his style the whole time. What is going on with his I gotta see how much this guy weighs, so I'll have to go back and look at the other pages to make sure I've got his proportions correctly, but in fact, it's right here. There we go. A little change. I see. Yeah, Devastator Omega. It's just too much for me to learn and understand, and I'm stubborn and lazy to learn new things right now, so I stick to what I know and get good at this right here. Okay, we're gonna outline this one, and I think that's all the outlines for this page. I feel like we made really good progress. But I don't know if you guys see what I mean. Like as soon as you put in the big shapes, and you kind of see the acting and the characters too by doing it that way, and their gestures. That it's kind of important to do that whenever possible. Because I think for me, it was putting in details was never the hard part. It was always getting the shapes that I wanted and the panel layouts so look the way that I want them to. That was always the challenge. So I tend to focus on getting better at that. this one right here, this underneath in the lamp, or do you mean like right here? There's, if you don't mind me doing this, I can't help myself. So I'll show you what I have for some of my kits. So this one, I think it's Ale Strike. So we got this one. And then we have Unicorn, and I didn't get his LED right, so his LEDs do not work. I have to buy a new one, I think, just to get the LEDs to work, unless I take them apart. So, and then let's see. Gradius. All thanks to Danny, who got a lot of these, and Donnie. And this one's my favorite. I didn't build out his whole entire arm because I like the the skeleton. So, and this guy, I cannot prop him up without using his wings. I have not figured it out. He's like top heavy, I guess. And let's see, broken wings. So where are we at here? Oh yes. I love these pens so much. I'm gonna try not to overbuy them again, but I could tell when I use a lot of something. In fact, I bought like a bunch of Palomino pencils, and I've had them for over 10 years, and I just recently started using them. So even though I bought them, I didn't use them. Now that I'm using them, it's like I'm kind of glad I did. Brian, I know my collection's amazing, and it's not because I bought them myself though. I've been fortunate to have people buy them for me for my birthday and Christmas. But I did buy a red frame ashtray. That was the one Gundam I paid for. The perfect grade, which is at my dad's house. Cleaver, that's right. Brought to you by Gundam. David, how difficult is it for you to design the wardrobe fashion for Neo Wonderland? I was looking at some of the details on the page, and it looks like you enjoyed this part of your world building. Oh, can someone translate the Korean writing right there? I can't do it on my end. Thank you guys. It is kind of hard in a way because I went through different iterations of the characters' costumes, but then I think it was what they were functioning as and what that said about the characters, and then kind of figuring out what the genre was as well, and that kind of gave me an idea of how their costumes were going to look. But to be fair, I've redesigned these characters. I've redesigned these characters multiple times. I mean, I've had the story for 20 years, and so they've slowly started to change. And then when I decided I was going to do cyberpunk, and then, they're assassins, that was pretty self-explanatory, I think, at that point. And I wanted some of that neo cyberpunk, neo ninja look, or samurai. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Cleaver, for translating, and for the person. for saying that. All right. Now, speaking of thick lines, now we're going to do thin lines. And cast shadow. I know. I would do the Google Translate myself, but then I'd have to open up the whole browser and everything. So thank you so much for helping me out. 감사합니다. State of the art, it is just a generic, I would call him thug, but more like a Yakuza type guy from one of the other clans. And the main, Shin, the character standing above him, the main character, one of the main characters, owed him money, and they got into it, and the guy on the ground did not make it. But when you guys see the whole scene, you'll see how this works. It's like, oh, this guy. It reminds me of the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the interaction they have where the main character, they're not exactly like the best martial artist or, marksman or anything like that. Oh, thank you so much, Cleaver. Thank you so much, Nilo. I'm just going in there and adding just a few more areas of shadow, because I don't want to sit here and render everything. So a lot of it's going to be screen tones on Clip Studio Paint, not real screen tones, and I want to have the focal point be the two characters, obviously, but I want I want you to be able to tell that this alley is really dirty and kind of grimy and claustrophobic. But see, trying to balance my own cross hatching, or how I shade things versus what I do on the computer is kind of getting a little used to doing it this way, because I usually pick one or the other. So Belen Ortega's Martin, I have to look them up. What was I doing? So I'm going to go really quickly and see if I can't add more forms to this, and some of my rough pencils you could kind of see. So there's like a garage door right here. Let me see if I could do that really quick. And this is the part about like not adding too much detail, but just enough. And I'm not quite sure what some of these things are right here. I just want to make sure. I have something going on here. I think just understanding the use of light and shadow, that's how you get noir, in my opinion, aesthetically. If you watch a lot of the old, I'm just going to say Twilight Zone because that's my only really good point of reference for that style. I haven't really watched any actual noir mysteries from back in the day, but I would imagine like their use of light and dark and cast shadows and having things mysteriously, in shadow, or things that are mysterious in shadow and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, yeah, I think that's it. And I feel like there's a lot of top-down lighting as well. Or backlighting to frame a silhouette. Thank you so much, Brian. Have a good evening, and thank you for your super chats and those awesome questions as well. All right, you guys. Guess since I've gotten so far on this page, I'm just gonna finish it and probably post it online or something early next week. So oh, thank you so much, Echo. Yeah, so we skipped around a little bit today. Got some stuff done from the other page, and we're gonna continue to skip around until I get everything done. So right now it's just about speed and doing what I know first before I jump into anything that I'm like, okay, I need to be more thoughtful and I can't race through certain things. No pun intended. The race scene is gonna be require more thinking on my part because of all the straight edges I'm using for the cars and stuff like that. So plus it's a double page spread, so G pen. Yes, I have a G pen too. But since I love inking so much, I have so many different inking supplies to use, and since I've gotten so used to all these different things and what they do for me, I tend to jump around as quickly as I can. In fact, I just leave this here. Earlier, I was just using like the pocket pencil brush and then like the 3 brushes or pens that I showed you guys. So I think I'm gonna leave these here, and I'm gonna tonight when I come back from dinner, just use the same things and just streamline and speed through this whole process. So, yep. And another thing is, like, if I wasn't sure where the shadows are gonna go, which I started to draw it already, but I feel like if I hashed it out some more, or just you could barely see it because I drew it a while ago, but I could go in there with this pencil, like a softer lead, and just add where the shadows would go. But like I said, I don't want to over detail anything, and I want the focal point to be these two characters right here. So, oh, awesome! Thanks so much, 8A Martinez. Night of the Hunter and stuff. Awesome. Thank you so much, JD. All right, you guys, I'm gonna scroll up and say goodbye for now to you guys, and then till we meet again, and hopefully we'll be coloring next time instead of just inking, but maybe there's something left I want to ink and show, explain how I do something. So alrighty, so let's scroll up and say goodbye to you guys. So JD, Richard, Detective Buckets, Razor X Sketch, State of the Art, Echo, Cleaver, of course. So nice to have you. Black Tigress. Oh, I'm sorry, I just saw what you said. Long time no see. Black Tigress. And adios, you guys. And don't forget to set your clocks back. Yeah, my microwave clock isn't going to set back on its own, huh? Dang it. I don't know. Should I be happy about that? Do I get more time? I guess I do. Okay, you guys. Well, I will likely see you next week, barring some crazy schedule stuff going on with the Kickstarter right now. But, yeah. Well, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.